Have you asked yourself? How was the start of the first World Cup date? We all want our team to be in a World Cup. Whether it's in a European country or in South America, we all want our team to win that precious trophy. But very few know the beginning of this glorious outcome of football. Many will ask the question, how did I start this World Cup idea? Well, for starters, let's remember that the World Cup is the largest international men's match competition in the world. It is organized by FIFA, the International Federation of Football Association, a body that brings together all the national football federations. The first World Cup was held in 1930, and since then it has been held every 4 years, with the exception of the years 1942 and 1946, due to World War II. The 2018 Russia World Cup was the 21st edition of the tournament. Only 24 countries have managed to be among the top 4 in the world, in any of the contest editions. Of those teams, only 8 teams have managed to be crowned world champions according to 2018 data. Some rough starts. After almost 90 years of history, the competition has left memorable moments. The first World Cup was held in the month of July 1930. This was going to go down in football history because the World Cup was being held for the first time. Organized by FIFA, Uruguay was chosen as the venue for the celebration of the centenary of the swearing-in of its constitution. Many teams did not understand how the South American country had been named the organizer. For this reason, the first edition of the World Cup was marked by the boycott. Most of the European teams did not participate because they wanted the competition to be played on the European continent. England did not participate because they said that they were the ones who invented football, and therefore the first World Championship should be held in the Anglo-Saxon country. Other teams, like many Europeans, did not attend the 1930 World Cup either, because the distance was very long. At that time, you had to cross the pond by boat. Despite the fact that the organization promised to take care of all the expenses of the selections, only 13 attended an appointment that was historic. In the end, the local team beat Argentina in the final and Uruguay became the first country to win a World Cup. The World Cup final in Uruguay was played by the host against Argentina. Both teams had a team that stood out from the others because of its enormous quality, and the final did not disappoint. The South Americans won the first world title at national team level by defeating Argentina 4-2. Without a doubt, the 1930 World Cup was an event that changed the way all fans see football. In 1934, the World Cup was moved to Italy and South American teams did not play in response to a European boycott 4 years earlier. The dictator Benito Mussolini ruled Italy at that time, and he wanted to win at all costs to give prestige to the country. Italy was champion, although he played with many naturalized Argentine soccer players and the arbitration decisions in the final were highly questioned. During the 1930s and 1940s, wars marked the competition. The Spanish Civil War, the war between China and Japan, and World War II, forced many countries to withdraw, because they could not send their equipment. Memorable moments from the World Cup. In 1951, of the most remembered episodes of the competition took place, the Maracanazo. The World Cup was played in Brazil, and the Brazilian team was the favorite, having beaten the rest of the teams. Against all odds, Uruguay beat Brazil in the final at the legendary Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro, before more than 170,000 spectators. The Brazilian newspapers of the time considered it a national tragedy. However, after that black chapter in the history of Brazilian soccer, the golden age of Canarina began. The Brazilian team, led by Edson Arantes do Nascimento, better known as Pelé, won the World Cups in Sweden 1958, Chile 1962 and Mexico 1970. Thanks to technological advances, the 1970 World Cup was the first to be broadcast in color. This made the tournament gain much more audience and become very popular all over the world. More and more national teams were signing up for the qualifying stages in the hope of playing in the official competition. The Hand of God, and the Goal of the Century. The 1986 World Cup. It is another of the most remembered by fans. The protagonist of that edition was the Argentine Diego Armando Maradona, who made a memorable performance. In the quarterfinals, Argentina faced England. The rivalry between the players had its replica off the pitch. The English and Argentine governments were at odds over the Falklands War. As we will remember, the two countries clashed over the sovereignty of the Malvinas, in a war that began on April 2, 1982. With the landing of Argentine troops in the archipelago, which concluded in June of that year with their surrender to British forces. In the war 255 British soldiers, 3 islanders and 649 Argentines died. Since the end of the war, the UK has refused to resume negotiations with Argentina, despite repeated calls for dialogue from the United Nations and other international forums. Maradona led his team to victory thanks to a highly controversial first goal, known as the Hand of God, and another known as the Goal of the Century. Argentina won their second World Cup that year and have been chasing a third ever since. Beginning in the 1990s, the competition was further modernized. France was the host country in 1998, and the French fans were lucky to see their team win at home. Les Blues, led by Zinedine Zidane, managed to put Brazil ahead. The 2002 World Cup was the first to be held on the Asian continent. South Korea and Japan jointly organized the tournament, which the Canarina won again with Ronaldo as the protagonist. At the International Stadium in Yokohama, Japan, Brazil was proclaimed 5-time champion, a milestone that Germany will try to match this year in Qatar. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell for more videos.